What's going on, guys? My HD here and welcome back. Today I'm back on GTA 5 on my Xbox 360. As you know, I am playing Xbox One right now, but I've decided to come back to 360 because Content Creator for GTA 5 is out. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a showcase, tutorial, walkthrough sort of thing on how to use the Content Creator. Obviously this is my first time using it, so I don't really fully know myself. And I haven't unlocked all of the stuff, such as an air race or a sea race. You do actually need to do a land race before you can unlock them. So you can't just jump straight into everything. You do have to actually go through some sort of unlocking system. So I'm just going to rush through some of the startup bits. You can enter a title and a description for your race. You can also do photos when you're in the lobby and you get a little photo of what the race is like. You can do all the different stuff like that. It's basically just like a normal race that you'd see in the multiplayer, but you basically create it. So here you can see I'm taking a photo. That's just like for in the lobby, and then you've got another one for when the game's loading up, which I'll get into in a little bit. There is some negatives and positives to the Content Creator. I'll get into them in just a little bit. But right now, obviously, I'm just going to skip through all of this. As you can see, there's different types of races you can do. GTA or standard race. You get to choose that. Laps. For this particular race, I did put it on 4 laps, which is a little bit too much. So later in the video, you will see that I turn it down to 2. Then, here's the interesting bit that I quite like. You can select which cars you're able to use. For most races in the multiplayer right now, you can only use a specific class of car. Whereas this, you can either set them all on, so you can choose any car you want, or just some specific levels of car type of thing. So I put coupes on, motorcycles, sports, and supercars. It's mainly for motorcycles. You'll see why in a little bit, but I'll just put them on, to make it a little bit more interesting. The race trigger location is where you want to start the race and you have to walk into that little trigger thing. That's basically it. You can't place anything on properties, which I'll detail in a little bit. So if you want to place a checkpoint on Michael's house, or you're going to place a checkpoint on the airport, you can't actually do that. Now this photo is for the lobby camera, so that's pretty much like when you're loading up the game sort of thing. So that's what you're going to see. First of all, I took a photo of a random house, and I thought this should really be of Michael's house. And then I went around looking for Michael's house and I couldn't find it, so that's why I took forever trying to take a photo. So there you are, there's the photo. That's what it'll look like in the lobby when it's loading, etc. Now we're going to get onto the really good bit in just a second, the checkpoints. Maximum players, I did set it to 16, which is actually a little bit too much, because you do actually have to have a grid, as you can see on screen now. I'm skipping through this as fast as possible because it's just boring, but you do actually have to have a grid of where they can start, and as you can see, mine's quite long, so I've had to shorten it down. I think I managed to get 8 fit in, or maybe 9, but you do actually have to have a grid, which is kind of annoying, but you'll see why. Now we move on to the checkpoints. I'm just going to literally skip through this as fast as possible. I've sped it up to maximum speed. I went around Michael's house there trying to play a checkpoint, but you can't do it. So literally I did a massive race just around the city of Los Santos. You're going to make sure you do actually look where you put in the checkpoints. For some of them I didn't, and when you do go and test the race in a little while, it does kind of create a problem. You get checkpoints which are not in the area you did want to put them, so make sure you do put checkpoints where you want to put them. So obviously this is a land race. You can do this as a sea race or an air race. I personally think air races would be great at the most. I don't know how you'd actually set a checkpoint on a piece of air, if that makes any sense, but I guess I'll find out in a little while. Probably you guys have already got to this stage further than me already. Here's where I said you can't place any markers on properties. I tried to plan some on the airport, do a little bit of a figure of 8 around the airport, but it didn't let me do that suddenly, so yeah, that is minor problem. And from now, really, I'm just making my way back until I thought, oh, there's the helicopter marina place. I thought, let's try and do a jump over there, so I'll plant a checkpoint over some water, which turned out to be a really bad idea, as you'll see when I go test it out on a motorbike. And then we're all the way back round to the start line again, and this is where I go test out in my motorbike. Now the audio does actually stop here, like you can hear little bits of audio. You can't actually hear the audio. I'm gonna have to cut it off now because you know, YouTube copyright reasons. I did actually have the radio playing in my motorcycle, which is just a stupid idea. But you will actually see me test it in just a second. Although I did plant some props in, and that's a really good thing that I do like about this creative content creator thing. It's like Forge mode on Halo, if you've ever played it before. You do actually get to plant stuff in the area. I only plant a very few things here, but I will go into a little bit more detail towards the end of the video. But basically, you can plant a load of props. Anything that you see really in GTA, like when you're free roaming, you can pretty much plant, like walls, wrecks, cars, obviously these containers, bridges, stuff like that. Even ramps, and I do like the ramps, then that's going to be quite interesting. You can plant them, so as you can see that I made it look like, so you only can fit like a car or a few motorbikes down the middle. And then I didn't realise those blue fences weren't actually smashable, so you know, you can't actually smash them, so you will get knocked off if you do fly into them. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff you can plant. As you can see, I'm planting some ramps now. I only do plant like 3 or 4 ramps throughout the whole course, but you can plant as many as you want. I don't think there's any set limit on how much you can plant. Which is pretty interesting because, you know, Forge did have like a money credit type of thing. I don't think this does, but it'd be pretty stupid if you could plant like 1 million fences or something, because then it'd probably just overload the game. Right, we're pretty much right down to the testing bit now. We're about to go out on a motorcycle. You're going to see me epically fail at this jump here. This is where I plant a ramp, thinking I'd be able to go over and fly over to the other side. Obviously, I misjudged the everything about that, you know, because that really doesn't work. Here we go. So it's lagging like mental, obviously, because I've sped it up to maximum speed. So we're literally whizzing through this. All the checkpoints are working fine. It's just literally just like a normal GTA race. The only bad thing, I did set this as current weather, which current time, which was actually daytime, so I don't know why it's nighttime. Well, I'll find that out in the future. So you will see some bad checkpoints coming up in a little bit. Up to now, though, the checkpoints are working fine. How many checkpoints do we have? I don't really know. As you can see, I've set it on 4 laps, and a lap on this without being sped up is about 6 minutes. So you really don't want to be doing 4 laps, so I did change it down to 2 in a little while. We're coming up to the airport now, and this is where I made my first fundamental mistake. Apart from that, I did fall off the bike then. Yeah, that wasn't the mistake though. The mistake was with the checkpoint, where I went all the way down here and found out the checkpoint was actually on the highway type of thing, so I had to turn around, go up and put the checkpoint there. So that's why you do have to watch. And then I made another mistake because the other checkpoint was on the ground instead of the highway type of thing, so I had to somehow fly off. Now this is the really big mistake that I made, and I go for the jump and I fall straight in the water. You can't really see it that much because I have sped it up insanely, but I do go back and try and make another jump, and I keep failing epically every single time until I realise, you know what, I'm going to have to drive all the way around and get the next checkpoint. So that's what I did. So if you're thinking of doing a ramp over some water, you may need to have more than 1 ramp. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you can raise like things up, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we're coming literally right now, coming back round to the beginning of the lap again. So current lap, as you can see there, 7.5 minutes. It's about to go to 8 minutes. So 8 minutes a lap, and there's 4 laps. That's a bit too long. Right, here I go through all the different props type of things. So you can have ramps, as I'm saying here, small ramps, medium ramps, large ramps. Then you've got a dumpster ramp, and then obviously you've got your water ramp for when you do sea races. Then you have signs, different types of signs to make like people go a different way. They're not really that interesting. You can knock them down, but you know, there was a nice addition. Then you've got your little trailer type of things. These are pretty good just for putting in the way, and they can be moved. So if you, I don't know, like want to smash one or blow one up, they can be blown up, which is pretty cool. So you can cause your race to have a whole massive explosion in it if you need to. So I just placed one just like here to make it a little bit more interesting, so they they might hurt themselves or something, I don't know. I was literally planting random things everywhere. So you got different types of trailers, obviously. There's quite a few things of each. Then the wrecks, like I was talking about before, like bus wrecks, car wrecks, literally everything. Some of them in half, as you just saw then. Then you got your dynamic stuff. Dynamic stuff is actually really cool. That means they're very dynamic in the game, and they can be modified, such as fences can be knocked down, barrels can be blown up, cones can be knocked over, stuff like that. Like the non-dynamic stuff can't really be interacted with. Then you got your barriers, different types of barriers. Some are really big, some are small. It's really just aesthetic stuff. This quite in terms of race, it's quite boring. So most of you probably have dropped out by now. But that's pretty much it, really. I mean, you got all your different types of props, and there's other stuff as well you can do, like stunt jumps. You can add stunt jumps in there. So there's the content creator. I find it really interesting. I'm definitely going to be making a lot of races, even though I do play next generation consoles right now. So coming back to 360 isn't really the best of experiences. So I've been MyGamerHD. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please leave a like down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe and follow me on Twitter, MyGamerHD. This has been GTA 5 content creator. Probably quite a boring video, but you know, I had to speed most of it up. But this is just a quick look into how it works. I will see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching.